What just happened?
What just happened?
What just happened?
What just happened?
What the f happened?
What just happened? I'm Dan. That's Julia. And today we're here to talk Only Murders in the Building, Season 3, Episode 5, called Ah, Love. Jules, not my favorite episode. It's
Me either.
it's midway through. We got to start to dissect this and try to see any clues. I'm actually more confident in who I think did it now after this episode. And I can just leave with that. Taubert. You know, I think it's Taubert. And I think this episode, the past three really, have been focusing on one person, giving you reasons why, and then maybe giving you a reason why not. But the more I see Taubert, I'm just more convinced the way he's acting.
I still think it's him too.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's awfully convenient that they just so happened to be at that little bar where Jonathan was singing when they saw that strange guy that he was giving an envelope to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The same time. Yeah. It's
like,
just
it feels like he's like planting her in places where he knows she'll get like false leads.
And we'll get into it. You know, he puts the name on the board to, all right, let's really look at this doctor. So yeah, I think he's really trying to turn her in a different direction. And
he's like, hey, look over here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I got from him this episode. And
yeah,
Loretta, we'll get to it. I have an inkling on where that could be going. And we have a comment that we're going to read at the end that really ties it together nicely. And this person wrote the comment before this happened. And it's kind of fitting like a puzzle. This one starts off, I was confused. I asked you about it, why Joy was breaking shit in the beginning. Because she didn't know about the engagement yet.
They didn't tell you at first.
She's just breaking shit. Okay. Charles comes out of the room and basically they were like, did you talk to her about it yet? What's up with the lipstick?
No, but I will.
Charles, you said you would ask her 2 days ago. Let us in. We can talk to her.
I am handling the situation in my own time.
He hasn't talked to her about it. Oliver, his mind is just on this date with Loretta. And then everyone's kind of wondering why Mabel's dressed up so nice. And it turns out she's meeting Taubert.
Are you going out on a date?
No.
Each of them is paired up now, right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe not so much Charles anymore, but they're all like kind of paired up and they all have their little solo adventure in their pair this episode, which was interesting to see. All right, what's this person? What are they like when they're with someone that they're trying to be like a couple with, right?
Yeah.
See how they act. So I like that they did that.
I did, but I also didn't, because I just love them together.
Yeah.
I love the trio.
Oh yeah, me too. So Mabel's just like, hey, it's a stakeout. Apparently Taubert has a lead on something that we see later, but she's just, apparently she has no thoughts of this being a date at this current time. Charles does talk to Joy about the lipstick. Doesn't go well.
Charles Hayden Savage. Do you honestly think I had something to do with Ben's death?
She ignored him at first, and then she kind of had to deal with it because he kept talking about it. You know, she got defensive. You know, maybe rightly so. He wants to know how it got to Ben's dressing room. You know, she didn't write the message apparently, but how did it get there? So he just wanted answers. Didn't go well at first, but Jane Lynch is back. That's nice.
Oh, so excited. Yeah. That was such a nice surprise.
Yeah, I did not hear she was coming back for this whatsoever. And I love that she plays like his double. And you saw the scene where they were like mirroring each other that one time. Yeah, it's cool.
Oh, they're so great.
You know, Joy leaves, which gives them time to talk. Saz puts it together that, oh, we need to dig into this.
Okay, talk to Mama.
She wants to really get into it with Charles. And we see Oliver get to Loretta's and he's just an awkward, like stumbling.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's just awkward everywhere.
Cringy.
When he knocks the bed down and he says,
dinner before dessert, I always say.
Oh my God.
He's trying anything he can.
And she's just staring at him like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it was awkward, man. That date does get better, though. It does. I really like what happened towards the end. I'll get to it. Mabel goes to meet Taubert, and it kind of comes out. Well, first of all, we see Johnny J on stage.
Hey, cool cats. I'm Johnny J, and I'm going to sing for you tonight.
Which is Jonathan. He's performing. Taubert says this story, how he did think it was him, but he's been following him, and now he doesn't think so. And yeah, this is a creative way to get a date.
And now I am on a date with that cute girl from the armoire. Okay, yes, I got creative. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think it's all bullshit. I
My
do.
ass. No,
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
I think Mabel's getting played here. And
I do too.
this episode really made me think it was him more and more. And I'm very confident in that pick to say it was him. So just the way he was acting, you know, and
It was a little suspicious. I don't know.
clear agenda, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
come on, dude. Yeah. We see Saz start to talk about the situation with Charles.
You have to prove to yourself Joy's not a murderer, so you can go ahead with the wedding.
They come back to that in a minute. And Oliver and Loretta, Jules, you're going to laugh at this part. When Oliver bites into the food and his tooth falls out, that happened to me on a date before. Yeah.
Shut up. No, it didn't.
It did. Yeah. It happened to me.
Oh my God. I am deceased. Stop it.
Took a bite into my food. Boom. And I tried to act like it didn't happen. And she was like, did your tooth just fall out?
Oh, thank you for sharing that.
So they end up bonding, right? He rebounds from acting like a nervous little high schooler.
Yeah.
And, you know, they start to have a nice time together. And then it leads to talking about pigs, and she does this pig impression.
How many pigs have you played? I don't know.
She's played pigs before. She's very good at the impression. The conversation leads to Ben.
Hey, you know who was a real fucking pig? Ben Glenroy.
And then he remembers, oh, it said fucking pig on the mirror. Maybe she wrote it. And that you tell that's where his mind was.
Well, yeah, I mean, she said that exact phrase.
Exactly, yeah. That's where he was.
Did you ever tell Ben that he was, how'd you put it, a fucking pig?
That's where I was like, okay, are they going to let us know? Because remember, they've been answering stuff. I was like, are they going to let us know that she did write it, but she didn't kill him? That's just how she thought about the guy. But then she has this idea to do something with his tooth, which we'll get to, which I think is actually very sweet when that happens.
Yeah. I was very concerned at first. I was like, where is this going?
Yeah.
What are you doing with that tooth, ma'am?
Yeah.
I know just the place for this.
If someone says that about your tooth, like,
what are you doing with the rest of my body then?
Yeah.
Came here to murder you.
Yeah, and remember at this point, he's really suspicious of her because of this conversation they just had. So
I can't believe he went. I'd be like, no, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, right. And then it transition to the other date with Mabel and Tobert, and they're getting to know each other.
They're my best buds.
Okay, that's right. Well, like, what do you talk about?
Murder mostly.
And in my notes here, I got a bad feeling about this. That's when I was like, no, whatever's happening here is not what Mabel thinks it is. Like, something is afoot. I could be dead wrong. I'm just so confident in my vibe for Tobert that I think it's him. I think he's the killer. So
I mean, I have a gut feeling about it too.
I mean, that's what it was at first, and that's still kind of what it is. Like, I don't really have any reasons or any evidence outside of him snooping through the apartment like right after it happened, and that was just a little sus. But
we also don't have anything to rule him out either.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's just the vibe. The vibe I get from him is off. And then Saz and Charles are doing this exercise, and they kind of cut the bullshit. What are you worried about? Type of thing. Comes out, why is she into me? She saw my face, all my pores up close, doing my makeup for 30 years.
And she still wants to jump my bones often twice a day. Now, isn't that the behavior of a psychopath?
He's very self-conscious. She goes, you're not afraid of joy. You're afraid of lowercase joy, like the actual feeling of joy.
You're not afraid of uppercase J joy. You're afraid of lowercase J joy.
Stop being a scaredy cat. You love this girl, clearly. Let's forget all this bullshit. And that's that. And it does change his mind, right? Like, now he's put it at ease. It works for the moment, but that's when they do that little mirror shot where they both do the same thing.
I know.
It was really funny. And then Oliver and Loretta are on the ferry, and she says, pick your poison, and it's, liquor or weed. And how about the joint is from 1978, and yeah, Oliver probably rolled it. That was really cool how they put it together.
I think I rolled that joint.
I loved that, but also I don't know if I'd smoke a joint from 1978.
Definitely not. The conversation it's going really well. Like, they're really hitting it off, and it's a shame our radars never crossed. And she goes on to explain, oh, I tried to work with you in the past, but something always happened. I really don't think she's the killer, but if she was, like, I wouldn't be totally surprised. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then what Jules alluded to earlier, how Jonathan meets this mysterious man at this restaurant, right?
Yeah.
she gives a funny description of what he looks like. Hey, that's I'm sorry, that's what
He
he
looks
really
like
looks
he
like.
belongs in a limo.
Well, he looks like he should be in a limo. Rider or driver, I can't tell.
That's your description?
I'm
That's
not sure
really
if he's
good.
driving or not, though. So
Yeah, he wants to get a closer look, knocks over the waiter tray, and they cause a stir. And of course, once they get back up, Jonathan's looking directly at them, and then he
Yeah.
just scurries off. So I think, Jules, this was something that, and I think you were saying this too, that Tobert knew was going to happen, that maybe he owed this guy money, and from
I
him
think he
following
did.
him, right? He figured out that this meeting was going to take place and it would look suspicious. Let's set
Yeah.
this up. I think
I
so.
100% think that.
That guy is probably just not involved whatsoever. It's just totally to make us think that way. And this is
Yeah.
part of Taubert's scheme, in my opinion. And you too. I think we got that. We'll see. We'll come back to that in a couple episodes and see if we were way off or not. But
Yeah.
it seems like a likely scenario, right? Like that's
I think so.
totally possible. When Loretta and Oliver are talking, it comes out that they did have a fight like a half an hour before we went on stage.
You fucking pig!
I'm no poisoning expert, but that kind of does line up probably of when you
I
dose
mean,
someone.
it feels like that would work.
It really does. Apparently, Ben was being an asshole to everyone.
Far from the only person in that theater who felt that way about him. He was an asshole to everybody.
He didn't want to share the stage with a no-name actress, and like he's this big star, and he's just a douchebag, and he was a dick to everyone. She said, quote, "Let me go, you fucking pig." So she said those words. So she could have very well wrote it, Totally possible that she could have wrote it. Not necessarily mean she's the killer. She was like, hey, I wasn't the only one to feel this way. A lot of people felt this way. She was a dick to everyone, including Dickie.
Even his kind-hearted brother.
His brother. It's kind of funny, like imagining Paul Rudd that way, but
I hate it. I love Paul Rudd.
But I think it lines up with how we were fed this character to begin with. Like we kind of it matches. So I think she's telling the truth. Then the part, throw your tooth under the bridge and make a wish.
It's
Tooth Fairy. Tooth Fairy.
yeah.
Okay.
I know, it's really corny.
Get it? It's that's cute. That's cute.
Adorable.
Yeah. And then they kiss. Everything's going swimmingly for him right now. He's over the moon. He's very happy about this. It gets ruined by the end, but we'll talk about it in a minute. So then, Tobert conveniently knows this guy, right?
That was Ben's private doctor, one of those celebrity concierge, anything you need prescription filler types. He's actually come to see Ben a few times this past year.
Come on. You just
just so happen to know this stranger that he's meeting with. Okay.
The way he said it too, like, I think I might know him. Then the next scene, he just knows his name. Oh yeah, he was the doctor.
Yeah. What you just came up with that? Would you Google the description of a guy who looks like he should be in a limo? Like,
I just know they call him Dr. C.
Great. That's a perfect combination of mysterious and ungoogleable.
BS. And then he immediately goes right back to flirt mode because he's like, it's so cute when you theorize.
he's doing that to distract her.
Yep, clearly. And it might be working because Dr. C got put on the board at the end. But
No, he made sure that happened.
he definitely did. That was his call. So then we get the conversation with Joy and Charles, which it was cool how they went from couple to couple and you learned a little bit more about the situation from each of them. And she was backstage when it happened,
Howard summoned me back there in a panic because Ben had a cosmetic emergency. I don't know, I guess somebody hit him in the face.
He had this emergency red mark on his face that we think it was swapped out for a different twin. We could be wrong. Maybe she really did just touch it up and he went back out there. She's like, I didn't write on that mirror.
But I didn't write on his mirror.
I didn't do it. And then Charles admits that he actually punched him and caused the red mark, which is interesting.
I may, probably, have been the person who hit Ben.
That makes me really happy, honestly.
Yeah.
Good for Charles.
And then the awkward conversation. I cringed. You had all these doubts about me. You thought I might have been a murderer and you still proposed. And
That was actually an accident.
Accident.
Well, I mean, no.
like he just kept putting his foot in his mouth.
Yeah. Charles tends to do that.
You didn't mean to propose to me?
No, I didn't.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. He's being so like carefree about it when he's talking about it. And it's just like, oh, dude, stop talking.
Yeah.
Because then she goes emotional, I thought we always had something special. She picks out these small moments in their lives that were like big impacts on her. She's very sweet about it all. He's trying to save it. He's trying to reel her back into the conversation to have a positive outcome, and she's not having it. She tosses the cake on him. She calls off the engagement.
The engagement's off.
Poor Charles. That's a shame.
Sad.
Yeah. I think they could reconcile before everything's all said and done anyway. So I'm ruling her out. I don't think they're going to do the Jan scenario again anyway. So
I think that's too predictable.
Yeah, I don't think she did it. And I think this episode was a good indicator that she didn't do it. I think I can definitely rule her out for sure. And then we get the scene with Mabel and Tobert, and she shows him the murder board. Like, she lets him in on all this.
May I?
I don't know. I'm worried about your handwriting.
Dude, you're moving way
That
too
feels like a
fast.
mistake.
Way too fast. Like, you trust this guy so much
We
already.
went on one date and he lied
One-
to you to get you there. What?
Yeah, he was creative to get you there. It's just like, Mabel, what are you doing, man? And then they kiss. So like now she's wrapped up into this new relationship starting, whatever you want to call it. And he's clearly being shady as fuck, and she doesn't pick up on it. So let us know in the comments. Are you guys in on Tobert being the killer? Doesn't it feel that way? I really do think it just feels like he is, especially with his actions in this episode. Just
Yeah.
makes sense. Of course, we get another cliffhanger, which this show loves to do. Oliver and Loretta, they did the deed, and he makes that stupid dessert line again.
But you excel at dessert.
Then she goes to draw a bath, and he finds a book full of clippings of him. Okay.
I wasn't convinced when she was like, yeah, Ben thought I was obsessed with him. But like, girl,
Yeah,
obsessed is an understatement.
it is. Now, okay. Could it be possible that it's because it's like a family thing, not an obsession thing? There's a theory here. Leighton Bacon, great name. If that's your real name, that's even more cool. They say, I'll read some of it in a minute, but just to give context, they think it's possible that Loretta is the biological mother of Dickie. Yeah. And there's some signs that might point to it too. So what if it's that?
I mean, like, that's definitely possible.
It's possible. Like maybe she just wanted to keep up on his career, and she just, when she saw an article, she just put it in the book. I don't know. It doesn't look good either way. But what if
But that
something
would
like
fit
that?
with Matilda's mother theory.
Exactly. It definitely would. That's what I'm saying. Like, what if it's something like that? So I am going to read this comment, but get your theories in now. What do you think about everything? We're going to do a theory video most likely next week. So just get them in, and we'll read as many as we can when we do that video. But here it is. Leighton Bacon. I think Dickie is most likely the son of Loretta, given the song and his reaction. My darling, cut to Dickie, who is on the verge of tears. Good observation there.
When he got so emotional at that.
No, it's definitely a good pull there. Also, when Oliver finds the scrapbook, it's a photo of Ben and Dickie. Dickie added in Photoshop to a photo of Paul Rudd on the red carpet, laughing my ass off. Do you think it's a stretch that she would name her son Richard after the composer, then give him up for adoption? Richard has many ways to shorten it, such as Dick or Dickie. I assume both know it and are keeping quiet, as that could explain the scrapbook and song reaction. A mistreated stepchild is also a common musical trope. I also think the twin theory is quite likely, so given this, we could have multiple ways to confirm this 100%. Here are the ways. Another scene with the CG tattoo, so we know it's not a mistake. A date for Dickie's adoption. We know that Ben was born in 1973 and supported his mother and brother in 1981 doing Brazos. If this was before Dickie's adoption, then we know Ben was supporting another previously unmentioned brother. That could also be the twin. But there you go. Good observation. And I just think it fits so well. It fits so well into this episode, because that could be an explanation for the scrapbook. It could be. It's possibility.
I mean, it could be, and it could also kind of explain why Loretta hates him so much.
Definitely could. Yeah.
Like, if Dickie is her son, like, Ben treated him like garbage.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, maybe they were in contact, so they could have been talking about that on the side too. So yeah, that could be another reason why she holds such, resentment towards Ben. So I just really like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I did not think of that. I love it.
Yeah,
though.
me either. Yeah. So midway through the season, perfect time to get your theories in. We'll talk about all of them in the theory video that we have coming up. Yeah. Hope you guys are enjoying the season still. I think the last two are a little bit off from what I'm expecting
Yeah.
of Only Murders. You know what I mean? I just want a little bit
Yeah.
higher bar than that, but it's still entertaining. So we got that. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Later.
Bye, guys.
Even his kind-hearted brother.
Hey,